Hey, everybody, it's Scott Steen with winnersandwhiners.com. Happy Monday, everybody. This is the first edition of the week of today in sports betting. And as is usually our custom here on Mondays, we're going to take a look at the weekend's action, do a quick little recap, and let you know how we did. Well, you know what? I'm going to bring on my co-host, and I'll do my rant. Hey, it's Scott Reichel. Say hi. This is not my best intro, but hey, what's up, Scott?
I've heard worse intros from you. No, it's fine. Thanks. It's good to be back. Pretty solid weekend overall. Hope everybody had a fun July 4th weekend. I know under the circumstances, a lot of stuff wasn't available, with the exception of listening to your neighbor's fireworks at 2 in the morning, which became, it's been a staple in my area pretty much every single day for the last month. I've heard fireworks at about 1 in the morning. But when your entire neighborhood, including the neighborhood across the water from you, is blasting fireworks from about, I'd say 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. Not exactly the way I planned on spending my Saturday night, but it is what it is. I had a friend come over for the first time in like 4 months, and we social distanced and played ping pong. So that was how that went. And then I entered a poker tournament, did decently well. Pretty busy weekend, all things considered, and pretty profitable as well.
You know, everybody had the same bet in America this weekend. They had number of digits on Sunday morning at over 9.5. So I hope everybody hit the over. I hope there was no JPP incidents with fireworks, although I'm sure there was, because there's always a certain percentage of people who do not do smart things, and it ends up costing them a lot. So
how'd your $900 firework thing work out?
What's that?
How'd your $900 firework thing work out?
They did not buy it. Did I tell you?
Look at you! Let's go! Huge win.
It was a list price of $850. He offered it to him for $350, and they turned it down. So
nice,
good for them.
Look at you! You saved a couple units over there.
So I talked. My buddy is the guy that owns the stand, and I talked to him about that $850 package. I said, "Have you been selling many of those?" He said the first day we were open, we sold 60 at $850 each, Scott. And this is just a tent. It's a decent sized tent with a couple of rows of fireworks. It's not a big warehouse thing. It's just a dude and his family doing a tent. They basically sold, what is it, 50 grand plus the first day of.
Well, in the people's defense, you gotta spend your unemployment checks on something.
I know a lot of people out there are hurting, but you certainly wouldn't have known it by the pyrotechnic display of the weekend. So
yeah, I'd probably spend more of my unemployment checks on, I don't know, food, maybe water, something like that.
Yeah, mine went to good use. We spent them on what do you call the rent, which is
nice. Cool. I heard that's pretty important. That's
something when you get older you'll learn about, Scott.
Paying the person to keep your stuff somewhere. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So, here's my rant. All right, everybody thought that was just a rant. That was a warm-up rant here for the 4th of July, although it was ridiculous for the amount of fireworks. I'm sorry. I'm glad you're doing it too, because I feel like the old guy here if I start ranting about all the fireworks and late at night.
I didn't do any fireworks. I just did a brief rant about fireworks in my neighborhood. But New York, ever since you've had the BLM movements and everything, realistically, New York has had fireworks almost every night at about 1 in the morning. I don't know if there's any correlation between the two, but it is just a theme that I noticed, is that once the protests and everything were happening, I've had fireworks every night ever since.
Did you happen to see the aerial shot of L.A.?
I did. You mean with all the quote-unquote banned fireworks and how
exactly. Exactly. That was unbelievable. If you haven't seen it, if you're on Twitter, I don't know, Google, Twitter, search, whatever you got to do, look for aerial shot of fireworks, of banned fireworks in LA. It was.
It's funny. It's very funny.
It is. It's a great shot too. So here's my rant. I just want to do a little self-congratulations for us, because so many times these guys, they come on, they do shows, they make picks, and then you never hear about those picks again. So we will always be here, and I'm not going to say always, because once games get going, it may be a different schedule. But for now, we're always going to be here on Mondays to recap our action, win, lose, or draw. We're either going to do our happy dance of victory, or we're going to hang our heads in shame, and we're going to do it right here in front of you guys. So we will always be honest and forthright about how our picks went over the weekend. We'll always be here to recap and defend or laugh about the other guy's picks. So anyway, that's just my mini rant for the day. I'm just kind of patting ourselves on the back. So
Now, are you bringing that up because you noticed a lot of people online are not recapping their picks?
yeah, and and again, I'm not going to point out any particular sites or channels, but yes, and even some of the bigger ones don't necessarily let you know how those picks did.
They do, and they win though.
Sometimes, but yeah, you find yourselves a lot more likely to not see the results when you lose. So, of course, Scott, makes it easy to get down there and do those recap shows when your NASCAR picks. And we talked about this right before the show. Scott's NASCAR picks, it might have been fine. I had the winner yesterday. We'll talk about that in a minute. But Scott's NASCAR picks have been exemplary. I challenge anyone in the country, send me a video, drop a link, whatever. Tell me anybody that has gone 1-2, 1-2-3, and 1-3-4 their last 9 NASCAR picks in the last 3 races. That is an incredible record, Scott. I would say there is no one in the country, and I'm not saying this with hyperbole, I don't think there's anyone in the country that's done better. I mean,
thank you. I missed my calling. I had no DFS lineups for the last 3 weeks, which it's a shame on my part. But I'm happy NASCAR's worked out. I know that under the circumstances, there's a lot less sports available. I'm sure all of us would rather be handicapping playoff basketball. Even some people are into hockey, even baseball, stuff like that.
sure.
But yeah, I'm happy NASCAR's worked out, and hopefully you've been tailing our picks because so far they've gone pretty well.
Yes, you are definitely a profitable bettor if you've been tailing our picks. So let's just save our little NASCAR nugget for later, but let's go ahead and start out with the other event that we handicapped over the weekend. We did have no UFC, so we weren't able to eat the big one on that as we often do in the UFC realm. But you know what, Scott? You took a little spin on Bryson DeChambeau, even at a price that didn't seem to have a lot of value. But you went ahead and you went, you know what? That's the best golfer. The guy that's playing the best golf right now. I don't love the price, but I think he's going to win. I'm going to make that bet. And lo and behold, he walked away from the field yesterday, shooting a 65 in the final round to win the Rocket Mortgage Classic up there in the great city of Detroit by 3 strokes over Matthew Wolff. Tell me about Bryson DeChambeau over the weekend for you, Scotty.
Well, just to be clear, DeChambeau is a pretty interesting situation for me. And the reason why I say that is because of the fact that on the golf show we actually made, I didn't give out DeChambeau because I didn't see a line available. I saw mostly at 6.5 to 1, give or take, and I didn't like it. Then after we recorded, I found a local who had it at 9.5 to 1, and I took DeChambeau at 9.5 to 1. So technically, I did win some money on the golf tournament, but in terms of the picks I actually gave out, I lost money.
Very good. That's very good way to hold my feet to the fire on that, because I don't write yours down on the golf. So I just remembered you and I talking, and I'm glad you corrected it, because here I am talking about how honest and forthright and transparent we are. And I opened the show by talking about a pick that you did not make. So
my bankroll worked out, but unfortunately, no. For the sake of the video, I simply did not give out DeChambeau at 6.5 to 1.
Yeah, you and I agreed on that. I remember you had a guy where you ended up getting it, what, 9.5 or 9?
I found it at 9.5, and a 9.5, you have to take that.
Yeah, it just I didn't see the value of 6.5 to 1, but obviously the guy's playing some golf. He's just crushing the ball, Scott. And he's got his putter working enough. And, I've been doing a very good job. So, okay, so recap me on the picks that you did have. Give me the 3 picks that you did have for the tournament.
So, honestly, these picks didn't really work out too well. I had one absolute cooler bad beat, probably the worst bad beat of the golf tournament, if I'm being completely honest with you, which a lot of people don't know about, which I'll get into. But I had Sabatini over Poston. Both players missed the cut, but Sabatini had the worst score. So I ended up losing that one. I had Fowler to miss the cut. He was like 2 back of the cut with maybe 8 holes to go. And then he had 3 birdies, and he ended up making the cut. I had Doc Redman top 30. That did win plus 125 on DraftKings. That was a pretty nice win there. And then I lost the outrights. I had Webb Simpson, Tyrell Hatton, and Gordon. Gordon didn't make the cut. He had a bad weekend. Simpson was the leader after round 2 and then just had a pretty underwhelming weekend. And Hatton was on fire on Sunday after a pretty underwhelming Saturday. and he finished in the top 5, I believe, but he wasn't really in serious contention.
Yep,
So
Hatton tied for 4th, and Webb Simpson tied for 8th. So you did
yeah,
have
so my outrights weren't awful, but they didn't win. So
right.
that's what happened there. And then you had the bad beat of the tournament, which was Matsuyama over Ricky Fowler in a matchup, which, to be honest, I was so busy stressing on DeChambeau, I thought Matsuyama already won the matchup. I didn't even realize that it would turn into a sweat in the end. But just to break it down here, looking through the actual matchups here, Matsuyama was up 4 shots on Fowler with 5 holes to go.
Ooh.
And he proceeded to double bogey a par 5 on 14. And Fowler eagled the par 5 on 14. So I lost 4 shots on 1 hole.
There's a 4-shot swing, yes, sir.
And then Fowler birdied 17, and then Matsuyama parred every hole from then on. So Fowler won by 1 shot. He was up 4 with 5 to go and lost 4 shots on 1 hole.
Shades of what is that? Jean Van der Velde from the was it the British Open there?
British Open, yeah, it was
a decade ago or so.
And the worst part is that the announcers said that the par 5 14 was quote unquote the easiest hole in the tournament, and classically Matsuyama had to shoot a 7, and Fowler eagled it. So yeah, I thought I already won that prop. I was up 4 going into the 5th to last hole. And then anarchy struck. So, yeah, overall, not the greatest golf weekend. I did have the most amount of units on the Redmond play because I loved it a lot. And that ended up cutting into it. But the Matsuyama prop was definitely hurt. I would have been profitable had he won the prop, and he did not. So I lost a bit of money. But in my own bank account, which means absolutely nothing to any of you, I also had DeChambeau winning. So it ended up turning out to be a pretty profitable golf tournament for me.
Yeah, and I had Doc Redmond as one of my picks to click to actually win the tournament at 45-1.
Looked great on day 1.
Yeah, he was tantalizingly close. And anytime you take a golfer that finishes top 10, you feel like you've done your job, as opposed to Kevin Na. You talk about a guy that is high risk, high reward, and there's another guy that had a classic meltdown a few years ago on a hole. I don't even remember the details. I just remember he was I don't know, what did he shoot, like a 10 or something on some ridiculous hole?
It's possible. I mean, every now and then you have one golfer who just either forgets how to play golf or they're just attracted to water.
It was Tin Cup-esque here a few years ago, and Kevin Na finished second to last in the tournament. He opens with a par 72. Then he's got him written down for a 37. I assume that's 37 at the turn, which he knew probably would put him out of it. He actually withdrew. I don't know if he had an injury.
He had a back injury.
Yeah,
he dropped out.
Yeah,
I don't think he would have made the cut anyway. But he had a back injury. Nas complained about his back for the last couple of weeks, but apparently either he realized where he was at on the scorecards, or it was just too much to handle, or maybe it was a bit of both. But Nas decided that. I might as well just catch the first plane out of here. Catch the first. I don't even know how they're traveling anymore. But he decided, let me make better use of my weekend.
Well, they're traveling in the 1930s by train. That's right. So, Kevin, you think you're going to make the cut this week? Nah. Okay.
I'm going to spend July 4th with the family.
That's right. These are the jokes, folks. He was right down there in Rory Sabatini territory, who shot 4 under. Good grief. Not
I mean, 4 over.
I mean, we got 4 over. Sorry. Yeah.
I still don't hate the Sabatini play. I know that I had it plus 100 and it lost dramatically. But Sabatini came in 3rd place in the tournament last year, and Poston didn't make the cut either. So conceptually, it made sense. Just Sabatini forgot how to play golf on this tournament, on this course, I should say, in particular. I don't know how you get 3rd here last year and then you shoot 4 over on the first day, 6 over in the first. It was just weird. I don't even really know what happened there.
Yeah, not good at all.
Is what it is.
I did do better on my actual matchup prop bets. I had a couple of first day props. I had Bryson DeChambeau over Matsuyama that came in for me. I had Brendan Todd over Jason Day. Fade Jason Day, folks.
We were talking about Jason Day. He wasn't awful because he did go 4 under, but this is one of the rare tournaments where 4 under wasn't good enough to actually make the cut.
Right.
So he got cut. Happens. Yeah, Day has been a disaster ever since his huge win about, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago?
Yeah, and I had Brendan Todd there, minus a half stroke, getting plus money, so that worked out. That worked out okay. I won those two. The one that I did lose was Sanjay M over Terrell Hatton. You know what? I wasn't a
Oh,
Hatton.
that's right. We were going against each other on the Hatton bandwagon.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, I was going to when you were going off on Saturday about Hatton going to win the tournament. All this, I wanted to put a little package together between you and I. I kind
I
of
wasn't going well. I said I wasn't going nuts about it. What I said is that as long as he was in contention going into Saturday, I liked his chances. And then Saturday he did absolutely nothing. But if he actually did decently on Saturday, I don't think anyone was catching DeChambeau in reality. But Hatton could have easily finished 20 under if his Saturday just went a little bit better. Because Saturday he didn't really do much at all.
Well, he shot 3 under.
No,
So
but I'm saying a lot of that was on the back nine. He really didn't do much for the first, I'd say, 12 holes. He was pretty much just par. He didn't do anything.
so did you end up being profitable for the show? I know you did in real
On the
life.
show, no. But
Okay.
overall with DeChambeau, yes. I mean, in terms of overall how I did in golf, I'd say I lost less than a unit. I would have been up had Matsuyama not completely choked the par five, but it is what it is. And for the sake of the show, I adjusted my record accordingly. I did not include DeChambeau in my record on my personal record. I
Right.
only did the show picks, and I lost about a little bit less than a unit.
Okay. Well, I went down 4 units, plus or down 2 units, plus two, minus four.
The thing about golf is that I realized that for the most of the plays, I know that I had a profitable tournament barely last week. I just reduced my unit size going into the last couple tournaments.
Fair enough.
After the first couple didn't go well, I figured I might as well reduce the units until I figure something out for the prop. And for that reason, I kind of just decided we'll see what happens. And of course, the one pick that I actually won on, I didn't give out for the show. So
And see, I don't adjust my unit size. I mean, I'll adjust my unit size. I don't adjust my number of units. I mean, I know you play quarter units, so I don't do that shit. I play everything's a unit. Everything gets played for units.
I don't know. I think there's some value in doing that, which a lot of people I think might agree with. You can change your entire unit size, but I still like keeping the same units for UFC and NASCAR and all these other stuff. So I
Right.
feel like it's just a lot easier if you just use decimals or percentages of units for other sports. That's just how I view it. You can go either way, honestly.
No, right. There is no right way or wrong way.
The only thing that is important though is if you plan on betting, it's just kind of just conceptually, if you are struggling in a sport but you don't want to give up on betting the sport, you probably should reduce your unit size. Just to throw that out there.
you talking about the value of a unit?
I'm just saying in general, if you're
Unit
betting on,
size.
for example,
So you're saying
NFL.
you should play a half unit instead of a full unit, or you should make.
Yes. What I'm saying is that if you're struggling
Okay.
but you don't want to completely abandon chip, instead of giving up a full unit, or you're just in a massive slump, or
Right.
you are having a really bad week or so, which we've all had. And there's no way you can hide it. We've all had, even up to a month. We've each had a couple of situations where
Sure.
it seems like you couldn't have water if you fell out of a boat. In
Happens.
those situations, the best thing you can do is not compound the issue by doubling down on all your picks or by just keeping the same unit. Maybe you should just reduce your size until you start seeing the board a little bit better, and then you can gradually build your unit size back up. That's how I personally do it. So that's just something to keep in mind.
Okay, not a terrible strategy at all. Yeah, and the nice thing about obviously playing the full units is when you do hit one, it's a nice payoff, but they are so rare. I mean, when you're looking at like Doc Redman was 45-1, so realistically, you're looking at hitting one of those a season, and being profitable.
Same thing with the Matt Wolf 125-1 betters.
Did you have Matt Wolf?
I did not, but I know that a lot of people online, once Wolf fell apart, was posting their pictures on Twitter saying I took him on DraftKings at 125-1. Woe is me. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure if he won, you'd be, partying like crazy. It happens. You take the 125-1 guy, and then I don't want to say he fully fell apart on Sunday because he did rally in the back nine. That
Right.
front nine was one of the worst front nines I've seen from a player in
Yeah.
a while for somebody in contention.
And he was probably what, 25-1 for top 10, 25, 30-1, something like that for top 10.
Give or take. I mean, he easily cashed top five. It's not like it was a sweat for any of those bettors, but anytime you're playing on one of the easiest courses on the tour and you shoot, I believe it was 6 bogeys on Sunday, not ideal.
That's ugly.
Not good.
You know how you know the guy's a pro? Had 6 bogeys, still finished under par.
Yeah, I gotta actually confirm that, but I'm pretty sure Wolf had like 6 bogeys. It was really bad early on. I know he had a 60-foot putt for birdie on the front 9, but yeah, if you want to look at the back 9, he shot 3 under in the back 9. Not bad, but I see 1 bogey, 2 bogey, 3 bogey, 4 bogey. Sorry, he had 5 bogeys yesterday, not 6.
5 bogeys. So you're just pulling stuff out of your butt now.
I forgot. I guess I lost track after about the 3rd bogey.
Yeah, once you figured out it didn't really make any difference. No, I'm kidding.
But he still went 1 under though, so
Yeah.
I can't really criticize him for the back 9. But the front 9, he was a disaster.
You know what that is? It ain't a lot of pars. It's
Not any pars at all.
Not a lot of pars. All right, so golf wasn't the best to us this weekend. Again, we took some shots, and you know,
I mean, when you take 2 outrights and they finished in the top 8, but they don't
Yeah.
win the tournament, I can't really be too mad at that.
no, that's just fine. And you know, Bryson DeChambeau, I don't know. I find a hard time riding the hot hand of anybody not named Tiger Woods. But
Can you imagine what the lines are going to be in the future in his tournaments?
you're not going to get any value on DeChambeau for a month.
Pretty much. I'm hoping my local continues to put really crappy lines out, and I'll get back to you on that. But
Keep me posted. All right, bud. So that was golf, and then yesterday came NASCAR. Had the
do you want to do the whole breakdown now, or do you want to wait until we have Willie on next Saturday?
we could just do a quick recap if you want. And
we're both the winners.
Yeah, we both had Harvick, and it was I had matchups that really went to hell when Denny Hamlin inexplicably hit the wall. I was really torn about that because I had Harvick for the win, but I had Hamlin in 2 matchup props that absolutely did not get there with him over Truex and him over Kyle Busch. My strategy of fading Kyle Busch seems to be solid, as I had Harvick over Busch as well. Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit when we have Willie back on Saturday. We both had profitable NASCAR days. I'm trying to see if Willie did. Willie did not.
He didn't take Harvick. Did he have Harvick? I don't think he had Harvick.
You and I both had Harvick, and Willie and I each had Logano, who ran well early, as a stop me if you've heard this one before, and then fell apart for the last half of the race.
I pointed that out about a month ago. Logano's a perfect guy to take to win specific stages.
Yeah.
When it comes to actually winning races, he leaves a lot to be desired, with the exception of, once again, the time Elliott rammed him into the wall. I think that was one of the best chances he had to actually win a race over the last, say, 2 months, whatever, since the restart.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems like his car just – I don't know what it is, but it gets progressively worse as the race goes on. That's happened every single week.
Yeah, not good at all. And then of course I had the one that really cost me was I had William Byron at 50-1. He won stage 1, was looking really good. Completely blew out of right side tires. We saw that happen, I think, 3 or 4 different times yesterday. With the last one, of course, being Hamlin there in that 11 car. But yeah, they just the right side, just right front, boom, gone, and into the wall he went. And any hopes that I had for a big payday went down the drain. So
I'll mention you in my victory speech in the Winners and Winers Cup.
I certainly appreciate it. Yes, we are there for the season-ending Winners and Winers banquet. So make sure everybody get your tickets early for that. Get some good seats.
I forgot who did Willie have for his 3 picks in the Winners and Winers? I know that he also had Almirola.
He had Logano, Busch, and Almirola.
Okay, so I actually gained a decent amount of stops.
You guys,
where'd Logano finish? He was in the teens, I think.
Logano finished 10th. Actually, is where he ended up.
Okay, so
he ended up finishing 10th. So Willie, he's kind of a hard luck story for Willie, because Willie had the 3rd, 4th, and 10th place racers, which under normal circumstances, that's not a bad day when you got 3 in the top 10, and he ends up losing 11 points to you, Scott. He comes up with a total of 19. Of course, you had the 1st, 3rd, and 4th with Harvick, Kozlowski, and Almirola.
Damn, because I'm pissed at Kenseth for ruining my back-to-back trifectas.
Yeah, it was a
good for Kenseth. Good for Kenseth, man.
Matt Kenseth with the senior tour getting ready to.
Well, so just to ask, how far behind of Willie am I? Am I within single digits at this point, or am I still?
Yes, you are. You are 4 points behind, Scott.
I'm coming for you, Willie. I'm coming for you.
You know, and I had it. Like I said, I had a decent day. I had 38 for, which means my guys were at whatever.
You had a huge outlier in there.
Yeah, it was Byron killed me without doubt. Byron.
I still can't believe that Byron got into an accident. I really can't believe it.
You know what? Again, it wasn't his fault.
I know. I'm just the thing I mentioned months ago. He's a good driver, but it always just seems like either bad fortune or inexperience seems to just come back and bite him almost every time.
Yeah, I had the first, the 10th, and then the 27th place driver in Byron. So not good. But again, we'll go into a little more depth with our props and everything on Saturday when we talk about that. But needless to say, Scott had a dynamite NASCAR day. I had an okay NASCAR day.
Well, you made more units than I did.
Well, I did. Again, this was in real life at game time. I ended up fading Kyle Busch with a couple of drivers that I ended up making money in real life. But
truth is that even though I had a profitable NASCAR race, I did play everything that I had. I told you I took this relatively lightly in terms of my actual card. I wasn't a fan of much on the board. Turns out I should have been because I was pretty much dead on for most of the picks. But, the one matchup I had, I won because Bowman blew an engine. And Kurt Busch finished, I believe, a lap behind, but he actually finished the race, so that was a win.
Right.
And, other than that, I really didn't have anything once again, besides the fact that I keep putting 2 units on the Ford to win and 2 units on the Toyota to win. And I'm daring a Chevy to win. A Chevy hasn't won in about a month and a half, so it seems like it's just printing money at this point.
It's no tie for the bow tie, everybody. I had Harvick to win, which was plus 450. I did have Harvick over Kyle Busch, so that puts me at plus 550 minus 220 is 330, and then I had another 280. So I'm up half a unit.
Yeah, I did the math. I made 1.3 units.
Okay. All right. You know what? Profitable weekend in NASCAR, a sport that you and I would both readily agree is certainly not our top sport.
No, I've already gone through the tally of what I'm at so far this season. So far, it's going pretty well. I'm trying not to catch my money while I'm sitting at the table. But either or, NASCAR has been phenomenal for me, if I'm being completely honest.
There'll be time enough for counting when the racing's done, Scott.
Yeah, I can tell as soon as I say that all my units are about to go down the tubes. But it was fun while it lasted, and we'll see what happens.
Fades.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But I don't think I'm going to get all 3 of my drivers in the top 4 for the 3rd straight race. But we'll see. Who knows?
You're on a tremendous run, my friend, and I hope you keep it up. Most importantly, I hope everybody out there, I hope you're paying attention. I hope you really are, because, even when we weren't in the top 4, we were doing pretty well.
We were usually in the top 10 for all 3 of our drivers. Almost every race.
Not bad at all.
We're also throwing in the long shot caveat. So it's also a lot harder to get 3 guys in the top 10 when you're betting on somebody who's 42 to 1, 50 to 1.
Yeah, I went through a stretch there where I think I had 3 or 4 races in a row where my long shot driver finished the best of any of my 3 drivers. So
I still think I've only had 2 races where one race where my long shot has not finished in the top 10. The one time it happened, Boyer finished 11th. I think I finished top 10 in my long shot every race I've had. Besides,
I would put this out there: if you took our picks and bet them top 10,
you'd be up a fortune.
You would be up a lot of money right now. So, all right, Scotty. Well, we'll talk a little bit about NASCAR on Saturday when we have Winning Willie. I know you want
to preview what the race is upcoming.
No, I'm all right.
Okay, we can save that for Saturday.
No, we'll talk about what we do have coming up. I got to get to the different page here real quick. I know. Is it? We got. We're going to Kentucky. Scott, this is a track that has actually come into play since I have a little gap in my fandom. We talked about that, where I was a fan for a lot of years, and then my son kind of grew out of it, so I kind of stepped away from it and started handicapping other sports. So I have actually never ever handicapped or seen a race at Kentucky. So that'll be fun. It's a 1.5 mile track there. One of your tri-ovals. So it'll be from Sparta, Kentucky, which
sounds like a crapshoot. So let's see what happens.
I don't actually know where that is. I don't know if it's. I'm assuming it's outside of Louisville or Lexington, one of the two.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's in Kentucky.
Thank you, Scott.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Good looking at,
I'll be here all week.
So we'll be talking about that, and that game that will be on the 12th, and then coming up after that, it's going to be a fun week. We're going to have they go back to Bristol for the All-Star Open on Wednesday, and the All-Star race as well, and then after that they're going to go to Texas, going down to Fort Worth, Texas, to run the O'Reilly Auto Parts 500. So yeah, going to be fun. Going to got a lot of stuff coming up. I've talked about it. We may or may not do the All-Star race depending on how the schedule breaks down. And hey, speaking of the schedule, looks like tomorrow we're going to be taking another look at soccer with our soccer sniper over there in Europe, Valdes Pons. And then on Wednesday we're going to be talking a little. What are we talking? UFC? No. What are we doing Wednesday?
For Wednesday, we're doing golf.
We're doing golf on Wednesday. That's right. That's right. We're doing golf on Wednesday. UFC Thursday. We're still kind of up in the air on Friday. We've got a couple things we're thinking about doing another COVID update as the sports kind of lurch forward in their plans. A lot of guys testing positive, a lot of guys opting out. So we're going to probably do a little quick review of that. And then our Saturday is our want. We will be back to handicap the NASCAR race with Owen and Willie talking about the race from Sparta, Kentucky. So anything to add?
No. Should be fun. Pretty interesting weekend. I know we're talking about UFC coming up, and there's been a little bit of a change in terms of the fight card, as the original main event fighter challenger for the belt, Gilbert Burns, ended up getting COVID, and he was pulled. But the UFC managed to showcase some pretty elite damage control, and they got Jorge Masvidal, who ended up getting signed for the fight, so they ended up saving the title fight. And, the ratings are actually going to go up a lot more, because a lot of more people interested in seeing Masvidal fight than Burns, even though I think Burns might be the better overall fighter. So it should be a pretty entertaining UFC card on Saturday. And
I look forward to starting to read about the UFC, because that name means absolutely nothing to me right now at this point. So
he's the one who had the flying knee on Askren about a year ago. He won like 3 seconds into one fight by hitting the guy with the knee to the face.
Oh, okay. Oh,
does that ring a bell at all?
No, but anytime I get an opportunity to watch a title fight that lasts 3 seconds, man, I'm all about that, especially if it's pay-per-view. Looking forward to that. Is this actually going to be a pay-per-view, Scott, or is this going to be ESPN Plus again?
I'd have to assume that's going to be a pay-per-view, just because of the fact that it's 3 title fights. It's arguably the biggest card of the year. So right. I'd have to assume it's going to be pay-per-view. If it's not, I'll be shocked. But in reality, you never know, because apparently ESPN, instead of actually trying to get solid ratings, is more interested in showcasing the Eagles concert on television on Sundays.
Hey. No.
You're not taking any Eagle slander on this channel?
No, I'm not. That was a fantastic thing. What else are you going to watch on Sunday night from 8 to 11?
I was watching the basketball tournament on ESPN too.
Oh God. Okay.
There's live sports. I can't say no to live sports. I don't have anything against the Eagles, but ESPN. You're switching off between movies, childhood movies with commercials on Friday night, and rock concerts from like 5 years ago on Sunday night. I don't know who's watching these things. You watched the Eagles concert?
I did.
Was that with commercials? Because I was actually curious.
I recorded it. I haven't watched it yet.
What? Okay, because I was really curious if that was with commercials or not.
I'm sure it is.
I'm sure it is, which is, I don't know, you're watching a concert with commercials. That can go a couple.
No, that's one of the reasons I recorded it too. I promise you the Eagles did not play 3 hours.
Probably not. By the way, the UFC card is on pay-per-view.
Okay. I figured it was too good to last. But
happens.
Yeah, I know it does. So we had a fun week. This is going to be good. So maybe Friday we'll recap the Eagles concert. Talked about the hits and the songs that they could have played.
I don't dislike the Eagles. It's just a matter of I don't know why ESPN's playing concerts.
It was very weird. It was a very weird venue. I'm anxious to see how they spin it.
It was hosted by Chris Berman. I'm like, that doesn't really make it much better. I'm not really
sure. Right. I saw that Chris Berman, a huge Eagles fan. Like, okay.
I've seen channels that have shown full concerts, usually on like Access Channel or some other obscure channels, but ESPN.
I want to see how they spin it. I want to see how they justify. Because I guess because it came from the Forum, maybe. That's where it was.
I guess
the concert was 3 nights over at the Fabulous Forum.
Yeah, I knew that. It just all right. Yeah, I guess.
I don't know, but I know I know that I'm looking forward to digging my teeth into 3 hours of classic Eagles songs. So, sorry, bud.
Oh, it's all good. I remember when I saw that and ESPN was advertising for it, and I was just going, all right, Eagles. Oh my God, is that a documentary on the Eagles Super Bowl win against the Patriots with the Phillies special? No, it's a concert. Oh, okay, I guess.
The actual band, the Eagles.
Yeah. Oh my God, I did not see that coming.
And I understand this week's NASCAR race is going to be on the Food Channel, so we're going to be pretty psyched about that. And then make sure you turn into ESPN next week as they break down all the great places to visit in the Caribbean. So
it's bizarre. It's bizarre foods, but it's on ESPN, right?
The world's gone mad, sir. That's what it is. All right, buddy. Well, we've kicked off the week in fine fashion. Just to recap our recap. We suck at golf, although in real life Scott did okay. But here on the show, we did not do well at golf. Did good again on NASCAR. So, if I were you, I'd blow off the golf show. Check out the NASCAR show. That's all I'm saying. No,
Having said that, check out our golf show on Wednesday. So,
although, again, talk about top 10. Two of your three did finish in the top 10. That's a fine feat right there for golf handicapping. So I will tip my Irish driving cap to you, sir. Very nicely done.
I appreciate that. I think both of the guys I took were minus prices to make the top 10, but appreciate it. They're two of the three favorites in the tournament. It's not like I really thought outside the box too hard, but
Hey man, take your praise where you can get it, brother.
Yeah, I'll keep that in mind for next time.
Fair enough. All right, guys. Well, as always, we appreciate you guys stopping by. Make sure you check out winnersandwhiners.com for all the great content that they're doing over there every single day. What do you guys got? You get your horse racing, you got auto racing, you got UFC, you got esports. They got a little bit of European soccer, of course, over there. Valdez writes great pieces on that.
I made a futures video on the channel yesterday on the WNBA.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, give yourself a plug there. Scott did a futures video on the WNBA. Didn't even ask me if I wanted to learn all about the WNBA. No.
I remember I mentioned to you about a week and a half ago. I told you I've been diving into some WNBA futures, and I believe your response was you should go and get help. So I knew you wouldn't be interested in being on the show.
Go to a meeting. That's all.
Yeah, you told me go to a meeting, and I figured, I don't really think Scott's the guy that would want to be, with me for the WNBA breakdown because I don't.
Having said that, I know a lot of people have done very well at WNBA. Again, it's not a popular sport. Anytime it's not a popular sport, means those lines you're gonna have some opportunities out there. So
one thing the KBO did prove is that while all the other sports are waiting to resume, the unpopular sports suddenly became the popular sports.
Yeah, agreed. So I'm not. When does the WNBA season actually start, Scott?
Late July. Starts in about 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks.
What are their plans?
They're gonna have a shortened season, 20-something games, and they're gonna finish in October.
Where are they playing?
They are playing in the IMG Academy, so some type of empty basketball arena that has no use now because they're not going to be hosting any games. So the WNBA just took over. And
down there in Florida as well.
Yep. So
all right, bud. Well, that'll be fun. And is that posted already?
Yeah, that was uploaded yesterday.
Okay, so make sure you stop by and check out Scott's WNBA videos. I know. All kidding aside, Scott did very well at the WNBA last year, and it's just I'm old. I don't want to teach myself a new sport. So, but yeah, I know that there's a lot of opportunities out there for making money in the WNBA. So if you like money, go ahead and check that out over there as well at our YouTube channel. So is it under the Winners and Whiners YouTube channel, Scott?
Yes, it's the video right before this one.
Okay, you can't miss it. Just go to this video and take a right, and you'll find it. So, all right, there you go. Anything else?
No. Overall, it's nice to recap the weekend, and I'm looking forward to some of the other sports upcoming this week. Yeah,
this will be fun. Should be a fun, exciting week. And of course, Thursday is going to be my birthday, so we'll be talking about that as well. No,
shots. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be doing birthday shots at 11 a.m. whatever.
You got any birthday plans?
I don't have any birthday plans. No.
You'll get a bottle. I'll get a bottle. We'll get on Zoom off air, of course, and we'll make do.
We'll make do indeed. All right. So for myself, for Scott Reichel, for all of us over here at winnersandwhiners.com and statsalt.com, appreciate you guys watching. Of course, we couldn't do it without you. Anytime you want to drop us a comment, let us know what you're playing. Let us know how you're doing. Let us know how you're still out. If you're still alive, let us know if you have all your 10 fingers and 10 toes left after this weekend. whatever. Just drop it in the comment section. And, yeah, we appreciate you guys watching as well. And we'll be back tomorrow talking about a little bit of European soccer from across the pond with Valdez Pawns. Until then, I am Scott Steen. He is Scott Reichel. You guys have a great day. Stay safe, everybody. Hope you win them all. And we'll see you again tomorrow. All right? Take care.